Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, and happy Memorial Day, even though you're all going to stay inside and go to a movie, right? Because it's the perfect day to do so with the weather how it is outdoors. And, you know, the Park City Film Music Festival has been going on now for about a week and a half or so. It's going to be kind of wrapping up in the next few days, but we do have a film screening today at the Egyptian Theater at 1:45 p.m. It's called The Mischievous Case of Cordelia Botkin. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
And I have director, writer, and producer, also husband and wife, in studio with me. This is Cat Youell and also Brad Crowe. Thanks for coming in, you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Waking up early on this Memorial Day, and now let's point out the fact that you guys both grew up in Florida.
Just
or
me.
just you? Okay,
Just
so you
me.
grew up in Florida. Now you both live in California.
He grew up in Singapore.
Okay, well, welcome to Park City. And I was trying to tell them this is not normal. This is not normal that the weather is like this right now. It really isn't, I swear. But you, Brad, you were saying you're like, oh, I think it's kind of nice.
It is kind of nice. We were here for Sundance a couple of years ago. One of our friends' films was playing, and it was freezing and wet and dangerous. And I think I fell on the ground more times than I can count. And now it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of,
this is good.
Yeah.
It's like a warmer snow.
It's the warmer snow, yeah.
Feet of snow.
Well, I'm glad we're putting smiles on your face because I'm about ready to like go home and cry. So, okay, this is a perfect day to go indoors and see a movie. Let's start with you, Kat. Tell us about the film and kind of how you got into the festival.
Well, the film, it's actually short. It's about 18 minutes long. It's my graduate thesis from USC's master's program. And I found the story in a very weird way. I have a very dark sensibility, a lot of like Tim Burton influence, stuff like that. Cool. And my friend gave me a book that she enjoyed quite a bit called The Mammoth Book of Killer Women, where every chapter was about a different like female serial killer, and it was all true stories. So I read this light summer reading
Summer reading, no big deal.
And this one story just really stuck out to me, the Cordelia Botkin story. It's a story about a woman who was very, very passionate in a very restricted Victorian time in San Francisco. And she found her true love, but she found him outside of marriage. So she kind of threw away society's rules and, you know, gave up her life and committed to this relationship. He did not do quite the same thing, and so the only way she could be with him is if she murdered his wife with a box of arsenic-laced chocolates,
oh my gosh,
which she sent from California to Delaware, where the wife had moved the family to get away from this woman, so she became the nation's first cross-country murderess.
Oh my gosh. So what an interesting story.
Yeah, so she stuck with me. I really liked the idea of this woman kind of trapped, not having a voice, and kind of wanted to give her a voice and see it not, because she was in all the Hearst papers and the Examiner, like she was really big news, but she was just this demonized woman and nobody kind of understood her point of view. So although I'm not condoning murder, I did want to examine what, you know, she didn't have many options.
Now, Brad, since you guys are obviously coming home to each other at night, is this like your typical dinner conversation where she's like, honey, let me tell you about the next serial killer I read in my book?
Pretty much, yeah, and I stay clear from the chocolates. Yeah.
That's probably a smart thing. You're like, oh, no, I don't need any of that. You have to watch her cook and make sure nothing's going into it.
That's right.
Well, so you also a part of the film.
I produced
How is it working together, husband, wife, but also, you know, trying to make a film together?
It's great. You know, it's grueling work. It's long hours. It's, you know, I'm sure you're fully aware of the long hours that are involved in this type of thing. But the nice thing is we've known each other for so long now that we have sort of a shorthand. I can sort of look at her and know exactly what she's thinking.
Which is great.
Which is very helpful, yeah. And sort of I can attack any type of problems that may be going on before they happen.
And before this film, I actually produced his thesis film. And so all of our professors said that if we can do each other's thesis films and still be together and love each other, that we could make it through anything.
You guys are good. You have just endured the hardest part of marriage, apparently, right? Very good to go. So we actually do have the trailer for you. Again, it's showing today at 1:45 p.m. at the Egyptian Theater. So we're going to show you the trailer. Check this out. And again, it's The Mischievous Case of Cordelia Botkin.
Hello.
Oh. John.
Cordelia.
I
I still love you, but Elizabeth and the children are my family.
You can't be serious.
Wow, I am super impressed, and that trailer actually looks better than some of the films I've talked to in Sundance Film Festival. So we need to get you a part of that next year as well. I'm not joking you. So that again was The Mischievous Case of Cordelia Botkin. Pretty impressive, and music a big part of this, as it is the Park City Film Music Festival. So who did your music in the film?
Fabulous composer Chris Thomas. We actually met. He was in the composing school, which is the neighboring school to the film school. And we met my first semester there, I think, and he was in the program still, and he's done every single one of my films since then. And we really just have this kind of shorthand where I give him, I mean, he was brought on at the script level, where he was really seeing the tone and the style and everything, and then I let him kind of go and do his magic, because he just gives the best stuff. And then we also have an understanding of trying to commit to live recording as much as possible. So we actually...
That is really neat.
Had about 40 players that we couldn't afford for very long, so we had to cram recording the entire score into about 2 hours, and everyone was playing double, if not triple parts, so we'd have to go through it once, and then they'd have to play, like, the same violinist would play a different line, so we ended up having, like, like 120 tracks or something like that.
Cow.
So it was really intense, but very pleased with how it turned out.
Wow, it's really impressive to see the level that you have to get to, you know, before you graduate and what you're having to do. This is really impressive, and I think a lot of people don't get the opportunity to go to a film school like this. You know, some people have to do it on their own, or you know, do it post-graduation, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, I think I wanted to be involved in film. Let me borrow so-and-so's camera and try and make something. So this is really impressive. I really liked the music, though, how it gave it. You know, you're giving us the description of it, and it could have been extremely dark, but I feel like you made it a story that people would want to watch. I know it's going to still be kind of, you know, eerie and in that due to the storyline, but it made it more lighthearted and interesting with that kind of music going along with it.
And hopefully also gave it a little bit of a fairy tale.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So pretty neat. You guys excited to be here?
Oh, yeah.
So sexy.
Ready for the screening?
The festival thus far has been amazing. Leslie Harlow, I think is her last name, has been putting it on. She's just so generous, and all the filmmakers and other composers have been so, everyone's like, it's very supportive and like helping each other along, and it's just been an atmosphere I haven't really encountered at any other film festival. So
we felt very welcome.
Good. And I hope the snow welcomes you as well. Because we're all like, what is going on? So what's next after all this?
Well, we're both focusing on writing right now, so I actually have written a feature version of this, because it is such a long story, and there were so many little details I had to leave out. Like I said, it was part of the Hearst paper. The reporter who focused on it, he actually sent his star female reporter back in the day. Lizzie Livernash was her name. It's like, you can't make this stuff up. And so that isn't a part of the short, but I really wanted to incorporate it to the feature. So I'm writing that, and I'm also writing a biopic on Madame Tussauds. So following in the dark.
Wow. Well, you know, I am crossing my fingers and hoping that we'll see it at Sundance in the next, you know, couple years whenever you're done with this, because it looks like an incredible story. Just like you said, you can't make it up. And you know, sometimes I think people try to make things up thinking that the obscurity of it will bring people in, but this is something that takes people back and really go, what? Some woman did this? Wow, okay, maybe so-and-so isn't so crazy after all. Right? Like, okay, this is normal. So, well, you guys, congratulations. Best of luck. Again, it's 1:45 today, right?
Yes.
The iconic Egyptian theater, that's just up on Main Street. perfect day. I mean, honestly, the perfect day to head indoors and see a film. If you're a local, the good news is you just tell them you're a local and you get a ticket for like $5. That's super, super cheap. So $5 for you to see an incredible short film, about 18 minutes. Are you guys doing questions, answers, that stuff after the film?
We'll both
Was that
be
a part
there.
of it?
I think so. There are also several other short films that are starting earlier, and I think the $5 will buy you the entire short film package.
Okay, great. Check it out. Go see some great films. Thanks so much for coming in and
you.
enjoy the snow. Merry Christmas. All right, we are going to take a short break. It's 35 minutes after the hour. We'll be right back here on the Mountain Morning Show.